And in this meeting, you notice we're doing a 10th step every day. Everybody's constantly working it. It's called working the program. And that's what they did in the 1930s, which kept everybody sober. It's when you go to meetings and people are not talking about this 12-step process, they just fall off the program and they're in discussion meetings where they're talking about how my day is going or my problems in my life. And they turn AA meetings into psychotherapy group discussion meetings, but it is not. So again, what is Alcoholics Anonymous? Alcoholics Anonymous is a 12-step process that teaches you a new way of living. They come right out and say it in the textbook. It's a new way of living, a new way to live. So you go through this 12-step process. That's what we do here. We'll take you through the 1 through 12-step process. We give you reading assignments and we give writing assignments on each of this 12-step process. And what it does is it rewires your brain. It reprograms your mind. When your computer goes down, you have to take it into the shop and get it reprogrammed. That's what Alcoholics Anonymous is. Alcoholics Anonymous, simply put, reprograms your brain so that you can live without alcohol. Bam. Really? No, no kidding. Yep. That's just what the heck it is. It's pretty simple. So now we're going to go in the 10th step as we're on our road to recovery, which suggests continue to take personal inventory and continue to set any right, any new, to set right any new mistakes as we go along. So continue to take personal inventory, step 4, and continue to write any new mistakes as we go along. That's step 9, right there. It's a personal inventory 5, and write any new mistakes as we go along. So it's like 4, 5, and 8, and 9. We vigorously commence. Check this out. We vigorously commence this way of living. So this is a way to live. Now, most people that go to AA do not commence this way of living. They just sit in meetings and bullshit. But the early members of Alcoholics Anonymous in the 1930s, all of them did this thing called this new way of living. And miraculously, 80 to 100% of the first members stayed sober. Today, according to Alcoholics Anonymous last census, only 10% of us stay sober. Why is that? Because we don't commence the new way of living. We don't do this stuff. We don't do the 12-step process. But that's what we're here for. This class, check it out. This class, in a month and a half, we will teach you the entire class, the entire course of AA, and you'll be well on your way. You'll be fixed. Really? Yes. You just have to do it and commence this new way of living. So this is not an overnight. Let me see here. We've entered the world of the spirit. What is that? The world of the spirit is this thing called love that we've been talking about. It's also in the 3rd step, where it says that we were reborn. Something happens to us. We have a transformational experience. We're transformed from a drinking alcoholic to a non-drinking alcoholic who's now living this new way of life. And we're now reprogramming our brain so that we can live without drinking. That's what, and I'm not saying that this is easy. It's not. Because the alcoholic mind will fight against this in every way. It'll try to throw up roadblocks. We've saw it happen here this past week. We had 4 people that got somewheres up in around steps 10, 11, and 12, and they threw their hands up and said, I can't do this. And so they left. They left the process. But that's what happens. So you want to be really careful when your brain starts to say, fuck this, we're leaving, we're going, da, da, da. The old machinery kicks in. Let's get the hell away from this. This is a threat. we're being threatened here, da, 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 you know, and the body and mind is screaming for a drink. It's screaming for a drink, but it's not saying it's screaming for a drink. It's saying everything is wrong. We have to run down the street screaming. Oh, there's a bar. Fuck. Let's go in there and get some gin. And that's just what happens. It'll tell you something else. But end result is you're running in the bar, you're going to the liquor store, you're drinking. How do I know that? Because we're sitting in this meeting here called Newcomers Slippers Step Workshop. So it's like slippers are my people. Oh, Jesus. And not an overnight matter. It should continue for a lifetime. Continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. So that's another one. Now I'm coming to this meeting, I'm getting pissed off, and you say, I don't like this, I come to AA for my sobriety. There's your selfishness. Dishonesty. Well, okay, I am not dishonest. I'm as honest as the day is long. That's a lie right there. Resentment. Well, I don't like this and I don't like that. And fear. What's my fear? I don't know. I don't have any fear. I'm fine. And then we're going to go to the bar. Let's go to the bar. Sooner or later, going to the liquor store. Sooner or later, you're calling up DoorDash. Send over a handle of vodka. It's almost 10 o'clock. So that's the end result of not sticking with this. So when things get really, really bad, what do? When these crop up, we ask God at once to remove them. So what I do when I get in that place, I'll sit down and I'll say, okay, God, I'm really messed up right now. I'm upset with this. I'm upset with that person. I don't like the way I'm feeling. I'm feeling really crazy. I can't control this. I don't want to drink. I'm not going to go to the bar, but I'm asking you to just come into me and heal all of this hate and anger. And I'm feeling so jacked up. Just show me what to do. And God answers, go to a meeting, Jann. Uh, Over to Jeff. Is that how it works, Jeff?
Thank you. Yes, Jeff Alcoholic. It was impressed upon me to write down here on this page and to live my life right now. The operative words you use, just right now. All right, Dot, right now I'm scared. I'm worried about if I'm going to be in a nursing home or something. I'm worried about, no, write it down and then talk to God like you're suggesting. But the operative words you hit us with are right now. Don't say, this morning I was thinking, no. Right now I'm scared. Right now I'm resentful. Right now. And what am I resentful about? And that's, I believe, working the program. Yes, sir. Thank you for these operative words.
No, okay, good. So it's not just me, those of you who think Jan's off on a jag. No, we'll just flip it over to Jeff who's done this. The thing is, how the hell does Jeff get 39 years without picking up a drink? How does Jann get 46 years without? Well, I'll tell you, it's doing this stuff because left to my own devices, I am a mess. I really am. I could just screw up everything. All right. And also, this is pretty helpful, and it's freed me. I mean, today I'm free. I will tell you this. Those of you that just have like a lot of like madness going on over here and madness, it eventually goes away if you do this stuff. We discuss them. Oh, here it is. We discuss them with someone immediately and make amends quickly if we have harmed anyone. So one of the things that I do is like I'll discuss stuff with you guys right here. You're listening to me discuss things with you right this minute, right in this past half hour. I'm talking about what's going on with me. Have you noticed? Anybody noticed? Have you noticed that? I talked about we had 4 people leave. Why did they leave? What's going to happen to them? I mean, we're here to save lives, to do whatever we can to save the life of other people that are in this meeting, not to say, well, fuck them, just go watch them die. Then we resolutely so you can do this. If it gets rough with you, you can pick up the phone and call. Like Preston calls me, right? Preston has something that he's thinking about. There's the phone. Preston's on the phone. Okay. And I know what he's calling about. So you make calls, Preston.
Yeah. Yeah, I try, they say trust God, clean house. And so like I used to let my house get real dirty, and then I'd have to do another 4 step. And just like Jeff said, it's easier to keep the house clean and like clean up a mess right when it happens. So I call you or let you
Yeah.
know. So yeah.
Well, we're doing this 10 step. Maybe we need to make a call. It doesn't have to be a big deal, but it's important sometimes. Excellent. Debbie called the other. Did you call Debbie? No, you couldn't reach a couple people, so you emailed me. But you have my phone, so you can call me if you get. What was it that you were? It was like 10 o'clock at night. What was it that you were? Were you cornered or something or what?
No, I was worried about them.
You
And
were worried about them?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so that's where that came from.
Oh, so you were calling to see how they were doing.
Yeah. What
That's a
happened?
good thing.
They disappeared. And those were my 2 people that I could reach out to if I was going through something. And I was afraid maybe something might have happened to them. So I was reaching out to them and I didn't hear anything back.
Well, something did happen to them. They left the program.
Yeah.
And then what happens is when they ghost you, you know, that then it makes it even worse.
Yeah.
This is, that's like bar behavior. We don't go to the bars anymore and we don't practice alcoholic behavior. This is like we're talking about this new way of living. But yeah, it's okay to check on people. Hey, I do it all the time. I made a couple phone calls today to and I texted 3 guys yesterday that were coming here. And I'm like, so hey, how are you guys doing? What's up? Sooner or later, they'll probably call me back and say, oh yeah, I probably should get to a meeting. I'm like, yeah, no shit. And or I'll text some people that if they get really upset and they leave and go, so hey, I'm just calling to see how you're doing, checking on you. That's an okay thing to do. How's it going? How are you? Sometimes people don't want to talk. They don't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
one reached out and just curtly told me, talk to you. And then I didn't even hear back from the other person.
Yeah, well, okay.
That's that.
Just mute yourself, would you? All right, let's keep going here. Let's see here. Just make sure everybody's muted there. Okay, Cassie. Then we resolutely turn our thought to someone we can help. So there it is. I prefaced it. We talked about it, and then we resolutely turn our thoughts to someone we can help. Love and tolerance of others is our code. So there it is. That's what Debbie did. She reached out and tried to talk to someone, but they weren't having it. Sometimes alcoholics, when they're starting to crack and fall off the program, that's just what they'll do. They'll Preston was talking about that the other day, right? People get a certain kind of resentment. I don't like this. I'm going to leave that meeting. I'm going to go here. And if they're lucky, they land on a meeting or they land someplace that's healthy. If they're unlucky, which is generally the case, they end up in the liquor store or a bar.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I've watched it. Yeah, I see it all the time. I mean, I've gotten to the point where I can kind of spot it like a mile away. It kind of starts festering and you could kind of see it like a culmination of it. And then, like you said, they just kind of break away. Like
What we try to do here is not try to predict that behavior in other people. What we try to do here is if we see it, so we go to the person and say, so, hey, how are you? How's it going? And then we try to talk through the insanity that's talking back to us. We try to talk through it. We try to talk to the person, here it comes, the person who they are, the one, we try to talk to their soul. We try to talk to the real them. Do you really want to do this? I mean, don't you want to be sober? Are you going to pick up a drink? I mean, you want to talk about this? Sometimes. Are you okay? That's something that each one of you can practice with other people, incidentally. Okay, so there we go. We love and tolerance of others is our code. So we have to pray for the person. God, show me what to say to them when I talk. And then it says, and we've ceased fighting anything or anyone, even alcohol, for by this time sanity will have returned. How about that? We will seldom be interested in liquor. If tempted, we recoil from it as from a hot flame. We react sanely and normally, and we will find that this has happened automatically. We will see that our new attitude toward liquor has been given us without any thought or effort on our part. It just comes. See, if we're so busy in doing this 12-step process, having this new way of living, the whole idea of killing ourselves, indirect suicide through alcohol, just falls away. We will see that our new attitude toward liquor has been given without any thought or effort on our part. It just comes. That is the miracle of it. Now, I noticed that with myself. Once I started doing all of these steps and this 12-step process, the idea of drinking and taking drugs went away. We feel as though we have been placed in a position of neutrality, safe and protected. I absolutely felt that. I felt like I had the protection of God around me. We have not sworn off. So yeah, we don't do that in AA. They used to do that in the Washingtonians, and you hear about groups that pop up where they take pledges and all of that. We don't do that here. We depend on being protected by a God of our own understanding, a higher power. We have not even sworn off. Instead, we are neither cocky nor are we afraid. That is our experience. That is how we react as long as we keep in fit spiritual condition. It is easy to let up on the spiritual program of action and rest in our laurels. We are headed for trouble if we do. For alcohol is a subtle foe. How about that? When we just talked about how subtle it is. We're not cured of alcoholism. What we really have is a daily reprieve contingent upon the maintenance of our spiritual condition. So it's contingent upon continually working step 10 or step 1 through 9. Every day is a day we must carry the vision of God's will into all of our activity. So what is God's will for us? For our purposes in this meeting, Newcomers Slippers Step Workshop, it is to not drink, come to this meeting every day, and go through the 12-step process with us here. It's that simple. It's nothing else. For Newcomers Slippers Step Workshop, it is come to this meeting every day, work this 12-step program of recovery with us. Don't drink. So God's will is not, like, God, Lord, what should I do? Don't worry about it. I'm telling you what God's will is. If you have a bigger will later, you'll figure that out. But for now, keep coming back here. How can I best serve thee? Come to this meeting, don't drink, work on the 12-step process. Thy will, not mine, be done. What's God's will? Come to this meeting, don't drink, and work through the entire 12-step process. We can exercise our willpower along this line all we wish. It's the proper use of the will. So what's the proper use of the will? To get your butt up, come to this meeting, and do the 12-step process and read all the stuff we're giving you to read. Do the course. Much has already been said about receiving strength and inspiration and direction from him who has all knowledge and power. So we're talking about the power. Who is God? For our purposes, God is love, good orderly direction. If you have a religious affiliation, it could be that God. I mean, it's all the same God, right? The power of good for our purposes. Let's see here. Thy will, not mine, be done. These are the thoughts which must go with us constantly. We can exercise it as it's the proper use of the will. Much has already been said about receiving strength and inspiration and direction from He who has all power. If we have carefully followed His direction, we've begun, there it is, to sense the flow of His Spirit into us. I noticed that after I started doing this, I could feel the flow of God come through. Sometimes you just close your eyes, open your hands up, and ask God's Spirit to flow into you. And you can feel it, like this warmth come right through you. It just comes right through your palms, right up your arms, into your heart, all the way through your whole body. Try that anytime. It's a process. We have begun to develop this vital sixth sense. What's the sixth sense? It is the Spirit of God. Who is God? God's the creator of the universe. God is the power of love. God is the healing. It's the power of good. So that is the 10th step. So we should be doing this every day, right? Absolutely. So how did you like today's meeting so far? Cassie, what are your thoughts on what we just did?
I love reading and talking about step 10 because, well, it's kind of one of my favorite steps. Right, they're all, I guess, my favorite. But if you were to ask me and I had to choose, it would be step 10 because you really do have to live in it. And it's the first step for me that is, the action step. I have to constantly be looking at my actions if those character defects crop up and be able to immediately make an amend right there. So like you said earlier, so I don't need to continue to do a fourth step every year or something along the lines of that.
And sometimes too, what happens is it's not even so much as an amends as it is this new way of living, this flow of the Spirit into you. Things get simpler and simpler and easier all the time, no matter what. You start to live in the Spirit. Let's see who else here. Talking. How about you, Lori? Turn your camera on. How did you like our discussion today on step 10?
I liked it. I try to work it all the time. Try to work the whole program the whole time, and it keeps me sane. Otherwise, I go a little nuts.
No, isn't that amazing? Yeah, steps 10 and 11, very important for me too. Keeps me sane.
Yeah.
How about you, Debbie? Are you doing this every day?
No, but I need to.
Okay, start today.
Yeah, it's really powerful.
Listen to me, 84 through 88 every day.
You got
Every
it.
day for 30 days. We want to hear from you about it. Okay, good. Harry Berto, how about you? Are you working step 10 every day, step 10 and 11?
Try to. I like the part where it says love and tolerance of others is our code.
There you
And
go.
we are neither cocky nor are we afraid. That was important to me because when I was living with my dad, I was afraid of getting killed, so I would just take it out on alcohol just to, I guess, make myself feel better and be brave. I guess you can call it. But yeah, I don't need to do that anymore. So.
All right, well, you sound good. How many days sober are you now?
Well, I'm a little sick right now. 73 days.
All right.
Yeah, I've been sick the last couple of days. That's why I haven't been coming. But
Well, you're here now.
yeah.
Thank you. Glad you're here. Juliana, how are you? So, how did you like today's reading and what we've been studying? Step 10.
It's
Are you-
good. I like it. I'm just getting ready to start my 4, so it's good to hear. I like the idea
Okay.
of not going back and doing step 4 all the time.
Yeah, you're right about that too. Excellent. Glad you're here. How about you, Lisa? Are you doing this 10th step process regularly?
I am. I am. And I have to say, listening to some of the podcasts that you put out there, it's kind of nice having a familiar voice and re-listening to the group and like people that you've come to know on some of these meetings. So those have been very helpful as well.
I know it's just like going to a meeting. I listen to them. They're
Yeah.
very powerful.
And
Anybody, who
going
else
through the
was? Go ahead, Will.
the steps is actually just kind of like retraining your brain to, work through some of your anxieties and, just retraining yourself to do more positive things instead of reaching out for a drink, I guess, in my case.
Yeah, like Leslie said and Cassie said, yeah, we're going through the steps. We're having classes every day, 12, 13 on these, and then we're recording them. Who else actually has gone back and listened to some of them and said, oh, I have to let me have a refresher. Raise your hand if you're one of those people in chat down here. Like, see, I have my hand up. Who else is doing it besides me? Oh, just me. Okay. So anybody going back and listening? Okay, so Lisa said she's listening. Nobody else is going back? Robert, good, Robert, that's good. You need to be doing it. What about you, Preston? You're not going back?
Dude, I'm here every day.
Well, so am I. I go back and listen. Leslie,
This
do you go
stuff
back
is
and listen?
this is in my head all day.
Dude, where's my car? Okay. Let's see. So, Danny, hey, Danny B, how you doing? How'd you like today's reading and everything, Danny? It's and the 10th step. I bet you like that, huh? Yes, Anita said she goes back and listens. That's good, Sunita. Dude, I mean, it's like, oh boy. Who else did we not call on? iPhone, Danny, ML, Harry Berto, Rachel. Rachel, did we call on you? Oh, did you listen to this, Rachel? I mean, do you go back and listen? No, I mean, what did you think of our 10th step? I'm getting lost in my
Yeah,
various
yeah, I
comments.
do. I go back and listen to the YouTubes and the casts, and also the app. Listen to the I find really helpful the Joe and Charlie audio
No,
books.
we don't bring up
No,
Joe and Charlie
no,
here. We
I
only
don't.
talk about the Jan
Ooh,
tapes. Only Jan tapes.
I always
No,
rewatch
Joe
your
and Charlie.
YouTubes.
We
I
only
always watch your
and we listen to
YouTubes.
the 24-hour international
Oh,
meeting.
that's right.
No,
Yeah.
Joe and Charlie are brought up in this meeting. Only what we're doing. Why? Because we want to get you through the 12 steps and we want to get you healed up before you decide to leave. Then you can leave and go to any meeting and you know the fundamentals of AA. Most people come to AA, they never learn the fundamentals. That's what we're teaching here. I mean, like deep inside the big book. Because we know people are going to leave. We've had over 1,000 people come here and go through the process and leave. There's a few fools like Preston who keep coming back, but no, I'm glad you're here. Oh, well, okay, go ahead there. Matt, what'd you get out of this?
In addition to what other people have said, I mean, I found, about on page 84 and the top of 85, where, we, sanity returns and will seldom be interested in liquor. And, you have, sort of no interest. It just comes. I mean, that's the miracle of it. I mean, I from my own experience going through the 12 steps the first time, it sort of just came. I just was like, unbelievable. Like I can go in a liquor. I was just there today going past the beer area, and I just didn't even think about it. I mean, I was not even, it was
The
like a
beer
reprogram.
area where? In the grocery store?
Yes, it was the grocery store. I mean, I was on the way to the coffee area,
I know.
but I mean, I just, and it was just like, but a year ago, I would probably be, oh, Jesus, what time is it? 1 o'clock? Maybe I'll grab some. But I mean, it's like tuned out of my mind completely. And,
Yeah. Yeah, it's removed, right?
yeah, I mean, it literally is removed. I don't know how.
Jesse, how did you like today's? What did you get out of it? This 10th step reading. I realize you're early on in the steps, but you can be doing all of this. You got, we're just throwing all the classroom work right at you, the entire 12-step process.
Yeah, so I'm not that far into it, but I definitely found encouragement from Jeff and Preston, mainly hitting on the importance of staying on top of it, and just just how we mentioned. I like Preston's analogy of the dirty house, right? So don't let your house get so dirty you have to go back and do a fourth step. Just
That's right.
stay on top of it. Basically, is what
And
I got out
Cassie
of
said
it.
the very same thing. They're absolutely right. Oh yeah, we have enough going on in our lives, especially in early recovery. It's like, I mean, I ran several startup companies with employees, suppliers, contractors, you know, they were $1 million companies. There was stuff going on all the time. I had to like do my 12th, my 10th and 11th step check-in every single day to see how I was doing. But one of the things that I noticed I did was I made decisions, especially on hiring people and friends, that I would have really decent people around me, that I did not have people around me who were constantly causing problems. And we'll notice too, like in this meeting, of course, we're going to have people in here that are trouble and causing problems. They're alcoholics, but this is the place for you to be. But then in our service structure, we have a tendency to pick people that are, and I wrote about that a little bit earlier to you all on who have things relatively wrapped, can function in society without, having, meltdowns all over the place. I mean, it's going to happen because a meeting like this for newcomers can't go on every day with the whole damn group melting down, which is why we have the mute button and the remove button and whatever the hell else we have. But some people don't like that. Well, I don't know. Well, too bad. You know why? Because everybody who comes here is new. And we want to give every single new person who comes to this meeting a shot at life, that tell you that you can live, you do not have to die from alcoholism. And you can make it, a day at a time. Like we have Danny come. Danny's been coming here for over a year, having a really hard time, still coming. He still comes to this meeting. He could go someplace else. Why is that? Because this is Newcomers Slippers Step Workshop. This is the place to go when the bottom falls out of your life. So how did you like it? How did you like today's meeting there, Rebecca? What we talked about, where'd she go? You're muted. Can't hear anything you're saying.
Yeah, I like today's meeting a lot. Especially, I love that analogy of Preston as well. Especially after doing the fourth and fifth step. The steps give you a little time to breathe and take God in. And now time to kind of get back so it doesn't build up. Continue on.
True enough. Where did we leave? Oh, where are you? Are you on steps 8 and 9 right now yourself?
Yes.
Oh yeah, there you go. So you can do this too. You can do this step 10 and wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to do step 11. It's even more fun than this one. All right. I think we're pretty much finished up here. So you want to read the promises there, Matt? If you have them.
Yep, sure. These are the promises on page 83 of the big book. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They're being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They'll always materialize if we work for them. Back to you, Jan.
In the studio.
In the studio.
That's right. Okay, here comes the serenity prayer. Goes like this. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So this meeting is officially over, and tomorrow we're going to do the 11th step in the big book. And the other thing we're going to do is, those of you who are new, my recommendation is come to this meeting for 5 days in a row just to see how you like it. And then we'll put you to work. We'll give you some reading, writing assignments. We sponsor you. We'll take you through the whole program in about 1.5 months, 1.5 months. Okay, so that's it for today. And if anybody has any questions,